Good evening, everybody! We're glad you could join us for tonight's kickoff between the Syracuse Orange and your Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Week 10 of the 2017 college football season is here. For Wake Forest, it's been a Cinderella story. They're 5-2. They're 4-0 in ACC play, and they are currently your Atlantic Division leaders. Oh, by the way, they also lead the entire ACC over Vatech, over Clemson, over Miami, over Florida State. Yeah, it's a good year. So with that said, Dustin Thomas, Curtis Crosby, Desmond Wortham, every play, every snap, every possession, every breathing moment for each guy that wears a Demon Deacon uniform from here to the rest of the season will be looked under a microscope. It's the Carrier Dome. It's an 8 o'clock tip-off, and it is going to be live. Let's get into the highlights. Wake Forest up 3, but Syracuse would answer, and they would answer in a hurry. That pass is to Zach Davis for 21, and then Ryan Campbell, well, he's a runner, but he's also a truck driver because he is bowling over these Demon Deacons. 35-yard rush, and then to capitalize on something he already did once. 35 yards, that's mincemeat for Syracuse. Ryan Campbell from 9 yards out. 2 plays, 40-plus yards consecutively on the ground. And the Orange, at home at the Carrier Dome in front of these loyal fans, are up 7-3. However, Wake Forest, 2 field goals and an ill-attempted pass at the end zone right before halftime gives the black and gold Demon Deacons a 9-7 lead into half. It was a quick half, no offense, just a touchdown and 3 field goals. But hey, if that's how you win, it doesn't matter because right now, like we said, everything is being looked under a microscope if you're Wake Forest. Every play, every possession, every call by the coach. And it's worked out so far. 3 announced by multiple accounts on either side, and a couple sacks here and there. Notably, the ones you're seeing now on screen by Fred Wright, by Ford Howell, even by Syracuse. They've gotten to Dustin Thomas once, but you know what? One time isn't good enough. At the half, it's a defensive game, so are we going to see offensive explosion? And a little quick note before we begin the second half, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, the Demon Deacons travel home to Winston-Salem from BB&T Field to take on the Florida State Seminoles. If they indeed win that game, we may be looking at a new ACC division leader other than Clemson. So it's going to be interesting. Enough about next week, let's focus on now. Second half action underway, 6:11 on the clock. 1st and 10 after a pump by Wake Forest pins the Orange at their own 2. And yeah, lucky break for Ryan Campbell there. Gets it away, but you know what? You just can't stop him. And you know who else you can't stop? This underrated man, Bruce Jaquez. He finished with over 50 yards, but no touchdowns. You know who got some touchdowns? This guy, Ryan Campbell. He is going to use his pure adrenaline and speed, and he takes it from Syracuse territory to Wake Forest territory in the blink of an eye. But just like the first time, same verse, it's just as nice. From a big run to a touchdown run, Ryan Campbell duplicates that. However, 7 points wasn't good enough. They get 6, they say, listen, this defensively game is not going to hold up. They go for 2. PJ Hodges doesn't get it, and it's a 4-point game. So now a touchdown gives Wake Forest a 3-point lead pending they go for the 1-point PAT. Studio update, a team we're talking about in the ACC that Wake Forest is ahead of, Vatech. They're up 21-14. Hopefully BC can bring home the W though. Syracuse up 4 back to our game from the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York. 4:30 to play and counting. 2nd and 13. It's going to be Thomas rolls out, looks back, finds Anthony Johnson, takes a hit, and on 3rd and inches, Desmond Wortham quickly, almost a no huddle really from this offense, picks up a 1st down, and then look at all the green grass in front of Desmond Wortham. Uses his speed, and literally in the matter of 30 seconds, the Deacons are in Syracuse territory and they're at their 25. From the 25, the game deciding play. Dustin Thomas puts it on the turf, but A.J. Flowers, the offensive guard, picks it up, wherewithal, keeps his balance, picks up a 1st down, and you know when you're in the red zone, there's only one result if you're a Deacon fan, and that's to put up 6. Dustin Thomas does just that. Dives in carefully, yet effectively, and the Deacons are up 3, and then that's all she wrote from the Carrier Dome, where just last year in real life, ladies and gentlemen, hosted the NCAA Basketball Championship. And you know what? It's going to host a Wake Forest win also. Everywhere Wake Forest plays, besides Rice and Penn State this year, it could see history for Wake Forest defending the ACC championship in the Atlantic. We could very well see that this year. That pass incomplete, your final from the Carrier Dome. 23-13 Wake Forest. Let's talk about the schedule now. Maryland, NC State, Clemson, and Florida State. That's all that remains for Wake Forest. Look at Maryland. That should be a win, even if it's in Maryland. NC State, it doesn't matter where that is. It's a home game for both teams. Wake Forest is going to show up in numbers. That should be a win. Florida State, we've given them trouble 2 years ago. 17-16 loss. We could have easily gone into overtime, and who knows what would have happened then. We have them next week from BB&T Field in Winston-Salem. And then there's Clemson. The Clemson Tigers, who just last year, the Wake Forest Deacons upset the nation. And then 2 years ago, it was Notre Dame in the Irish Hills. It's going to be a fun season, ladies and gentlemen. Come back next week when we go live from BB&T Field in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, where the Florida State Seminoles come to take on your Wake Forest Deacons. Deeks are in a bowl game. That's the less of our worries.